Yo, it's your brother MindGameNT, and we're back with another reaction vid. I never seen a weirder trade exposed in NBA history by Mike Korzemba. I fuck with Mike's videos. The NBA season is coming soon. I can't wait, bro. I've been literally waiting for the NBA season to start. So we gonna be reacting to more NBA shit. I wish I could react to actual games, but you gotta get licensing from the NBA, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. But videos like this we will be reacting to during the NBA season, so let's get it. And if you want to see the original video and don't want to hear me yap, you know what I'm saying? The original video is going to be in the description. You feel me? So let's get into it though.
Did James Harden actually wear a fat suit in order to force a trade? Sounds completely ridiculous until we dig deep. Because back in December of
that nigga was big as hell for one season on the Rockets. Was that his like last season with the Rockets? That nigga was big as fuck, bro. And then Nick got traded and all of a sudden became slim as fuck.
2020, James Harden requested a trade from the Houston Rockets and was acting out in order to make it happen. He would miss training camp to party. He went to rappers' birthday parties instead of practicing. And to cap things all off, in the 8 games James Harden played for the Houston Rockets in the 2021 season, he looked extremely fat.
James Harden definitely had a pregame meal, averaging 17 points per game.
Definitely got a pregame meal.
But here's where the story takes a massive twist. Because James Harden got what he wanted. He was traded to the Brooklyn Nets, but just days later, both pictures and videos showed something shocking. James Harden was slim. It looks like he had lost over 20 pounds in next to no time. It looked like he had fooled the Rockets into trading him. And with that, the fat suit conspiracy was launched. And in today's video, we're going to figure out what exactly happened here. Did James Harden really wear a fat suit in order to force a trade? Or was there actually a weirder explanation in play? So obviously the first thing we need to ask here is, would James Harden really go to this much of an extreme? To answer that, let's listen to a question from James Harden's last press conference with the Rockets.
James, are you surprised that y'all never made a run at all in this one?
We're just not good enough. Chemistry, talent-wise, just everything, and it was clear.
That nigga was fed up. That nigga was fed up. That nigga was saying anything to get out of there, bro. Oh my gosh.
I mean, this situation is crazy. You know, it's something that I don't think can be fixed. So.
It's not often we publicly see an NBA star just say that his roster is not good enough to win, but this is how fed up James Harden was to begin the 2021 season, and his reason was pretty simple. He wanted to win a championship. Back in the 2018 season, James Harden was named MVP of the NBA and led the Rockets to 65 wins. 7 more in the regular season than the Golden State Warriors. The 2018 Warriors would sweep the Cavaliers in the NBA Finals, but in the Western Conference Finals, the Rockets took the Golden State Warriors to 7 games. And Houston lost Game 7 by just 9 points. James Harden and the Rockets were that close to winning the 2018 championship, but after that season, everything went downhill. In 2019, the Rockets were again bounced by the Warriors in the playoffs, but this time in 6 games and in the second round. But how would this lead to Harden needing a fat suit to leave the team? Well, unfortunately, we had the fatal combination of 1, a team performing worse on the court, and 2, its superstar getting all of the heat. Because at this point in time, James Harden had begun to develop a reputation. He was a ball stopper, a flopper, whatever you want to call it. James Harden was putting up his stats in an unethical hooping way. But before we continue, I'm very excited to thank unethical hooping way. But before we continue, I'm very excited to thank GoDaddy Arrow for sponsoring the stunning comps at works through the domain sites both at the averaging a combined 31.7 points, 8.5 assists, 6.6 rebounds, and 1.8 steals per game. That is easily one of the best 5-season stretches we have seen from anyone in league history. Only fans...
Prime Harden was a fucking monster, bro. Monster, bro. Triple doubles, fucking scoring his ass off, bro. That, bro. Prime Harden is different, bro. Different, bro. Even though he was playing ISO ball, still, bro. We have seen nothing like that ever, bro.
Ripped James Harden for his lack of defense and for the outrageous way he was drawing fouls. Harden was purposely seeking to draw contact while not actually looking to score the basketball. A lot of people began to hate James Harden's style of play, calling him the ultimate free throw merchant. And then in Houston, James Harden actually turned his own fan base against him. By the 2019 season, James Harden was practically the general manager and president of the Houston Rockets. A former Rockets assistant coach would say, quote, "We knew who the boss of the organization was. That's just part of what the deal was when you go to Houston. I don't blame James. I blame the organization. It's not his fault. Wow. He did what they allowed him to do." And so using this ultimate power, after the 2019 season, James Harden did not believe the Rockets were good enough to win a championship. And so he straight up told the front office that if they did not find a way to trade for Russell Westbrook, Harden would demand a trade. The Rockets appeased Harden. They traded Chris Paul for Russell Westbrook and watched as they not only had a worse season because of this move, but also next offseason, James Harden made it clear to Russell Westbrook that Harden was going to demand a trade. So Russ also ended up asking out. And James had a specific target in mind as to where he wanted to be traded. The Brooklyn Nets. Now I want to be clear here. Wearing a Hollywood type fat suit is not realistic for any NBA player. So I don't think an actual fat suit is what James Harden was wearing.
Imagine if
However,
he really did
I still
that.
think that there are several ways that Harden could.
Imagine if he really did that. That should have been insane. Insane, bro. Insane.
Could have made himself look fatter. Specifically, he could have worn puffy or padded gear under his warm-ups to give the impression that he was a larger figure, or he could have put on a ton of water weight. In fact, it may have been a combination of these two things. The water weight especially makes sense when you consider how much James Harden was partying and how quickly he was able to shed his weight in Brooklyn. But why would James Harden have to get so extreme? Well, the Brooklyn Nets is exactly where James Harden wanted to go. He wanted to form a super team with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, and Harden had been talking about this with Kevin Durant that offseason. James Harden actually spent the offseason training at the Mamba Academy with Kevin Durant, where the two schemed up a plan about joining up together. But the Houston Rockets were not going to just trade away James Harden for nothing. So Houston, we had a problem. Please don't click away from the video. The Rockets watched as Daryl Morey stepped down as general manager and Mike D'Antoni did not return as head coach. These were the two final daggers in James Harden's time with the Rockets. These were Harden's guys. And after the 2020 season, James also made it clear that he did not want to return to Houston. The Rockets actually offered Harden a max extension, but Harden declined this extension and instead requested a trade. This was a spit in the face of Houston Rockets fans and their front office. Houston had been where James Harden had grown from a young six-man type of player to an MVP superstar. It was also where James Harden had gotten his jersey retired in a strip club. Houston is where he really grew up.
How do you get your jersey retired in a strip club, bro? How, bro? How? How does that even happen? That's crazy. That's insane. That's insane.
But as we heard from a past assistant coach, James Harden also practically ran the front office and did whatever he wanted. So with Daryl Morey and Mike D'Antoni gone, Harden demanded a trade and specifically asked to go to Brooklyn only. The Rockets were not on board with his plan, at least at first, because James Harden's actions would tip them there. After training with Kevin Durant, James Harden truly believed that the Nets would win the title with a big three of him, Durant, and Kyrie Irving. And so that is where Harden wanted to go, although he did have a list of teams such as the Philadelphia 76ers that he was open to. The Rockets, however, understandably, wanted to get fair value for their franchise player and were, quote, willing to make things uncomfortable. Only it was James Harden who would make things uncomfortable. As training camp got closer, it was obvious that James Harden was not going to make things easy for Houston. This was during the plague years of our civilization, and in a time where people were supposed to be wearing masks, James Harden was caught partying at Lil Baby's birthday. He also directly missed a Houston Rockets individual workout to be at this birthday party. This was national news, and James Harden was fined by the NBA for violating health and safety protocols. Then when the season began, things only got worse. It was clear Harden was not trying on defense at all, and in his last 5 seasons with the Houston Rockets, the Rockets went just 1-4 as Harden averaged just 17.4 points per game on under 38% shooting.
Damn.
He had just stopped caring, and of course, on top of all of this, we
did not give a fuck, bro. That nigga was trying his hardest to get out of there, dog. That's insanity.
had the noticeable weight gain. And the weight gain wouldn't have been incredibly suspicious if it were not for the extreme weight loss after it. We know that the Brooklyn Nets Big Three failed. I actually want to make a full video on the failing of that super team, so if you want to see that, let me.
Man, if they would have just stayed healthy, bro, I think they would have won, bro, to be honest. If they just stayed healthy and yeah, just literally stayed healthy. Because Kyrie got injured and then Harden got injured and it was just KD by himself, you know? So they what did they play, like, what, like, I don't even know the exact amount of games with each other, but it was low, like the in the 40s or some shit, games together or some shit like that. So if they stayed healthy, yeah, they would have been tough to beat, bro.
No, but at the end of the day, James Harden did get his wish. He forced his way directly to the team he wanted to go to, the Brooklyn Nets, which leaves us with one final question. Did James Harden really wear a fat suit? It's undeniable that James Harden lost a lot of weight in a very short amount of time when he went from Houston to Brooklyn. And it's also undeniable that the Rockets and Harden were at a stalemate. They both were willing to get uncomfortable. Remember, Harden was publicly telling reporters at a press conference that his team had no chance of competing for a championship, as he also was partying as much as he could. So did James Harden put on a fat suit or not? Again, he probably did not take things that far. But did James Harden purposely load up on water weight? Did he purposely wear extra padded gear to appear fat? I think both of those situations are more than possible, and I'm excited to see what you think down below. So there we have it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, I think you will like this video on Ben Simmons and how he has kind of ruined his life. If you're already subscribed to the channel, thank you so much for supporting. You are awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day and cue that music.
WVid from Mike Korzemba. More NBA reaction vids like this on the way. Gang.